Hi everybody, it's me, Vulcan832, and guess what? We're back. We are back. Dandadan. Season 2. Well, or you could call it Dandadan Season 1, Core 2. So, we're back. We're back in the saddle again with Dandadan, Season 2. This is going to be... This was our first episode, episode 13. I'm going to go call it episode 13. Basically called, This is the Legend of the Giant Snake. Now, anyone who's read the manga knows what this situation is that Gigi, Momo's childhood friend, he's living in a town where they worship basically a giant snake. Well, we get into that later. But the people who are there, the Kito family, yeah, they're kind of a bunch of douchebags. Basically, they've been taking care of the town by sacrificing people. That's what they've been doing because of the volcano. So they sacrifice people to their god, and the volcano doesn't erupt. That's the whole gist. Now, in this episode, we get the foregone continuation from the ending of episode 12 of season 1. So, Momo's fighting these old dudes. I will say this, I like how the anime animated the Kito family, because they're very pale, like really pale, like almost death-like. Like they have no skin tone at all. It's almost black, like a very grayish skin tone. So, they basically what happens is Gigi and Okarun, they encounter the woman, the head of the Kito family, that woman, old lady, and Momo defeats the men and leaves. And they have a fight, they have a tussle, it's not going their way until Okarun and Gigi wake up from their stupor when they were beaten up by these old ladies and men. And the fight scenes was pretty cool. Action scenes were pretty interesting, the way they did them. That back and forth. I'll talk about the opening and closing theme. But overall, things ended up the way they ended up. So there's a hole in the wall. And in that hole is basically these talismans and shit. So there is no snake. It's not a snake. Which, it's kind of funny how the Dandadan world works, because a lot of the entities, I should say, that they encounter are UMAs, unidentified material, whatever you want to call them, entities that are from Earth. So what the snake actually is a Mongolian death worm. When I first saw this in the manga, I was like, what the hell is that? But they get sent into this quicksand with them and the those Kito families. Yeah, they don't last long. The Kito family, no, they don't last long. And they encounter this death worm. I must say, I like how the death worm was portrayed in the anime. Because the thing is the area they're in is very dark. So there are these houses that have been consumed and all this other crap. And what ends up happening is that the death worm has these like tendrils coming out of his face, inside of his face, and it creates a bright light. Now, the death worm does not. He has no inkling for the Kito family. It just eats them. He kills them, eats them. Hey, who gives a shit? And then that's when Okaroon and Momo and Gigi go into another house. Now, the light from the Mongolian death worm has an effect on Okaroon because he's possessed by Turbo Granny. And he's going crazy and he's about to attack Gigi. And that more or less is where the episode ends. Overall, I did like I said, I did like how this episode was portraying it, and how it was going in the direction it was going into. Now, next week, it seems like we're going to get into Evil Eye. Now, Evil Eye, for those who don't know, this is for anime only people. This is very depressing. It's going to be a very depressing arc here with this Evil Eye. It's not going to, well, from reading the manga, I believe, it's not that very long. I mean, it is long. There's like back and forth here and there, but it's not really, to an extent. Anyway, so basically, with Evil Eye, it involves the people or the person that was sacrificed to the Mongolian death worm, from my understanding. But that's what we're going to get in the next episode. So we're really going to be in the Evil Eye arc. Now, after that, I don't know. Because if you take a look at the opening, if we were anime-only watchers, you're not going to really get it at first. But in the opening, by the way, I like both the opening and closing. I thought it was done very well. The closing's pretty cool. It's like they're dancing and shit. And it's in a different kind of animation style, which I really like. I really digged how they did that animation style. Anyway, dancing and shit, And too, it's funny too because, the opening is very dark and mysterious. And now, there is one character who is shown in the closing and the opening that has not been introduced yet. There is this fat, nerdy kid who eventually makes his presence known. Now, if they're showing him in the opening, that means we're going to go further than the Evil Eye arc. So, and I was going to just let everyone know. No spoilers, but prepare yourself. If Science Saru had decided to go past the Evil Eye arc and gone into further canon material and is going to adapt that in this season, you guys are, whew, you think what we had before was bad, it was crazy. Wait till the other shit gets hit. But as far as rating concerned, I'm gonna push it back a bit. I'm not giving this a full 10 out of 10. Like, that'd be insane. I give it a 9 out of 10. I thought the pacing was decent to an extent. We're introduced in the Mongolian death worm to the being, and we get a good sprinkling of what's going on here. Now, as we've seen in Dandadan, we had Okaroon with Turbo Granny. We had, it's been so long, I forgot her name. The big hair girl with the dancer. So, in that aspect, we're also going to get the same thing to a certain extent in this arc as well. It's like each person in the group is going to get an entity that is attached to them. So, but we're just beginning. This is just episode 1, so I didn't want to go too ham here. But 9 out of 10 for this one. This was done very well. We're gonna get full on. Now, unfortunately, it's 12 episodes. Listen. I'm not saying I don't mind the 1 core and 2 core, but I would really appreciate it. Come on, Science Saru. Can't you do more? Come on. But hey, I can understand that. But overall, good start of the season. We're headed on our way. I also am looking at the other shows. The other shows are pretty good. The summer looks promising. It looks very promising. And I should let everyone know, I'm not only doing this. Kaiju number 8. Yeah, that comes out too. On Saturday. I'm going to be doing that. And a new show. A shonen. By Bones. The name I cannot pronounce. It starts with a G. Gachukuta. I can't say it right for me. But overall, those are the 3 that I'm going to be nailing. Dandadan, Kaiju number 8, and this new shonen that's going to be airing on Sundays. Look forward to it. Zumbakanai Toy 2. See you guys later. Mongolian Death. I was like, yo, it's just crack-a-lacka. I'll see you guys later. Peace.